Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. So today I'm out for the third outing with my new match fishing seat box, the homemade one. And today I'm trying out the feeder arm, and I'm going to have a go at feeder fishing on a fairly reasonable sized lake. It's probably 8-9 feet deep, and I'm fishing probably about 30-40 meters out. Let's have a quick look at the box. There we are, we're all set up in amongst the reeds here, very pleasant. You can see the feeder arm just down here, and also I've got that backrest that I made, and I've actually got that attached to the front leg of the foot plate. That clears my leg out of the way, so when I when I strike, if I get a bite, it doesn't get in the way. It's actually very comfortable. Let me just show you the pond itself. You've seen it once or twice before. Decent sized pond, as I say. Probably, I don't know, 400 meters across down at the far end. Pretty much on the edge of a housing estate, but you wouldn't know it. Also today I'm going to set up a Waggler rod, and I'll be using the adjustable rest for that one, and it's really just to give a sort of a final shakedown trip for the equipment before I go off and fish a match this Sunday. This is what it looks like when I'm sitting down. So as you can see, by hanging the rod rest or the backrest off that forward leg there, it actually makes my leg clear here, so I can just lean forward and strike as and when I need to. The feeder rest is actually positioned, well, almost straight out in front of me, and that seems to work quite well because, as you can see, it gives me a good angle out to the fish, and I'm actually fishing pretty much sort of straight out in front of me out there. So hopefully this tip's going to go around fairly soon. Apologies if we've got any wind noise. It does seem a little bit strong today, although you can probably tell it's at my back. I'm quite comfortable, but I'm just not sure about how the microphone's going to work in this breeze. Anyway, let's get on with it. Yep, first bite. It's actually been about an hour since I first started to put bait out there, but that's not too bad. As I say, it's been a bit cold lately. Feels like a reasonable fish. It's kiting off to the left there. Not making much headway on it at the moment. Just take my time. Oh, decided to go for a run. I'm actually clipped up out there. I'm using one of these MAP reels with the ACS system, which is automatic clip. And basically you clip up, and if the fish takes line, then it actually unclips itself. You don't have to frantically try and get the line released from behind the line clip, so that's quite good. The only problem with that, of course, is that when you've had the fish release the clip, you've then got to find out exactly where you were casting to before. So in this instance I've counted the number of turns on the reel, so I can get back to that point if I do find I've been unclipped. Shaking his head a bit. Here he comes. Ooh. Saw me then and decided he didn't want to play. Right under me now. There's a load of weed down here, you can probably see it, but it's also underwater, and I just felt him snag on some. Probably see a little bit just down there, look. And also where he'd snagged it, he's just released a bit just by the end of my landing net. It's just coming up to the surface now, look. Whoa, he's certainly woken up. I thought he was done. As I say, I'm just taking my time. He's put up a really good fight, this guy. Not actually all that big, but very good. Thank you very much. Fish just swam into the net, that'll do. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's get rid of all this rubbish. Oh, he's only just hooked in the lip, look. I'd say probably about £5. Nice fish. Well, while I've got the rig in, I might as well show you what I'm doing. I've got just a standard cage feeder with a swivel, running freely up and down the line, and stopped with this thing called a Dura bead. All that is just a piece of metal in a clip, so I can just unhook the hook length if I need to, and put a different one on. Now the beauty of this is that I've actually got at the moment probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 centimeters of line to a 14 hook and a little Guru stop there, but if I want to I can go shorter or longer, and today I may just consider popping a bait up sort of like that. So I've kept this at 30-40 centimeters. I'm just using 2 pieces of corn on the hook, and I'm just feeding ground bait through the feeder as I normally do. So having got that first fish, I think the best thing for me to do is to get some bait on and get back out there and see if we can catch another one. Well, I had that fish probably half an hour ago. It's been a bit slow since then. Haven't had any indications or anything, but as I said, it's been a bit cold, so not necessarily sure I'm going to catch an awful lot today. What I am going to do though is just change this feeder rod for a waggler and fish probably, oh I don't know, 15 to 20 metres out. And what I have done right at the start, I put in 6 balls of ground bait on that line and just left it there. Now normally if it was winter I probably wouldn't dream of doing that, and even sometimes in the autumn you know, I'd probably be very circumspect about doing it. But it did work about a week ago and I just want to give it a try. I mean, I do find sometimes that if you've got wild fish, they will back off when you put bait in. Maybe they're just not used to it coming down on their heads. Obviously in a commercial they're used to it and they're waiting for it, so that they're racing towards it. But I suppose if you haven't really seen bait before and it's coming down on your head, you might sort of get a little bit suspect of it. So anyway, I'll give this another minute or two and then I'll go on out and have a bit of a go with the waggler. Okay, so the feeder line isn't producing, so set up the waggler rod. Got a 14 hook, single piece of sweet corn, got a loaded waggler on. I'm going to try somewhere over by that bait that I put in earlier, the ground bait, and let's just see if we can catch something on that. Okay, so I'll cast out and I'm aiming at that tree that's in the middle of the field over there, which you may or may not be able to see, but it's the same marker point as I was using for the feeder, just a lot closer in. I'm fishing at about 14 turns out, so by the time you add on the rod, I'm probably fishing somewhere like 18 meters out, something like that, and it's about 8 feet deep. Just dragging slightly along the bottom because there is a bit of a tow, as there often is with lakes like this. When you get a bit of a wind on it, there is quite often a large tow. But we'll see how we go. It's not moving too badly at the moment. It's only been in for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute now, but it should just about be exactly over those balls of ground bait I put in earlier. Go for it. There we go. Oh, it's taking line. Not quite got to the line clip yet, so I'm hoping he won't quite get that far. Oh, he's kiting left now. Right down the side. Trouble is, there's all that rubbish down there that grows up from the bottom, so Need to be a little bit careful here. Not sure if he's snagged up on some weed down there at the moment. He's way down there in the next swim. Oh, I think we've moved him. First of all, he seems to want to come in like a wet sack. Then he takes a load of line, and he's a wet sack again. Oh, we're actually snagged up just then and he's moved off it. There's a lot of stuff down there. It's growing up from the bottom, but it's not too strong, so it should be okay. It's pretty much like that stuff there, but right on the bottom and not showing on the surface. Oh, this is where you're going to be careful with them, isn't it? Alright, come on fish. I think he might be a decent fish actually. Certainly doesn't want to know me. And get him down to within about a rod and a half length or 2 rod lengths, and he doesn't want to know. Where are you? Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, it's alright, isn't he? Take your time with this one, we're not going to catch too many today, so don't want to lose any either. That's a nice fish. Oh, that is a good fish. Oh yeah. Oh yes, lovely. Not bad at all. Let's get the hook out of him. I'll just move this out of the way a minute. We'll have a look at him. I think we might weigh this one. Got him resting on my boots, and that's he's as long as the net, or she. Might be a little bit of spawn in there. Just gonna weigh him, see what we've got. Oh, press the right button. There we go. 0. And he's moving. You had to move now, didn't you, fish? He's 12 pounds 4 ounces. Take off £1.3 for the net. He's just over 11 pounds, and that's a nice fish. Okay, I'm just using 2 bits of sweet corn on the hair, bit of my standard ground bait, which seems to work pretty well. If you haven't seen my standard ground bait, by the way, there is a video on that. I'll put a link to it in the description box, and there'll probably be a pop-up. There we go. Right, well, that's 2 fish. Just trim the tip a bit. Need to sink that line a bit better. See the line of the line working down there? Just got to tighten up to it. Don't be moving this feeder, so just tighten up, and when it's sunk, you oh that fish just jumped. Okay, so there we are, look. That's the, just to give that a tap just to get the water off. That's put a nice little bend in it. Hopefully, 2 casts, 2 fish. Never know, do you? Think positive. Well, it's about half an hour to go now, and you may be able to see that I've got the Waggler rod out. That's out at about sort of 15-20 metres. I've got the feeder rod out, and that's at sort of 35-40 metres. Both in the swims which I'd been baiting all day, but because I'd only had 2 fish, both of those on the feeder, I thought I'd just chance having both rods out for now. But if nothing else, it shows you can set it up so that they don't collide with each other anyway. Well, at least not when I'm casting or just sitting here. I wouldn't normally use 2 rods at the same time, but it's only half an hour or so to go, so I thought, well, you know, I've been baiting up in this area where the float is, and I usually catch a few there, but nothing today. And of course I've had those 2 fish out in the main part of the pond there at 35-40 metres. It's unlikely I'm gonna have a double hookup, so what the hell, I'm giving it a go for the last half an hour or so. I've just had my very first little dip on the float, tiniest little dip, and I've got a piece of bread on at the moment, so let's see if it transpires into anything. First time I've seen any movement at all on the float today. Well, that little bob didn't turn into anything, but I've got bread on both, and yet I've been feeding ground bait with corn in. So, having caught my 2 fish on corn, I'm just going to have one last go on both of these rigs with corn, and then I think we'll have to call it a day. Oh, is that a bite? Yes! First bite of the day, literally as I'm going home. Don't think it's a big fish, but hey, it's a fish. Now all I've got to do is just avoid the line down there. Whoops. It's underneath that one, which is okay. I knew there were fish down there, or at least I thought there were. Right, here we go. Come on, fish. Just stay out of the way of that line. Might have to give it another go, eh? Only a small carp. But they often do come on when you're getting towards the end of the day in cold weather. Yep, definitely one of the smaller variety, but very welcome. Come on, fish. Thank you. You'll see the rod go around now. Well, I don't know. Looking at, I don't know, short fish, but maybe 3 pound or so. But this one looks like it's in spawn. Yeah, big belly on it. Nice one. Oh well, I've given it another 15 minutes, folks, and I'm definitely late for my dinner now. I've only had those 3 fish. I had that last one, the Waggler that you saw. Wasn't expecting much more than that really, because it was cold today, so I'm really pleased with catching those fish. Certainly that one that was just over 11 pounds, which was a nice one. The main thing was I've achieved what I came to do, which was to test out the feeder arm, which you probably can't, oh, you can see behind me, right, okay. And it's worked very well, so I'm really now looking forward to this match on Sunday, where I'll get a chance to put all of this together and hopefully put a few fish in the net. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the button. If you want to subscribe, you can. And until the next time, bye for now.